Tiki is off today. He's traveling. He's got a college football game this weekend. Listen, the rest of the Yankees are starting to hit. Here we are fixated on Aaron Judge, and rightfully so. But the rest of these Yankees, whether it's Torres, whether it's Cabrera, starting to find their way a little bit here. Yankees offense suddenly looking pretty potent. Obviously, the Mets let one slide yesterday. This one's coming down to the final few games. That's the bottom line. But we'll do baseball later. Sweeney's going to join me. Coach Ciano from Rutgers will join me. Big one. That should be a good atmosphere. What are they, 3-0 Rutgers, right? Playing Iowa Saturday at Rutgers at home. So we'll talk with Coach a little later. Ian Rappaport in between. Here's the deal, though. I've got to help out my boy. Who's my boy? Hoff, do you know where I'm going? I got to help my boy out.
Me? I'm good.
No, you're good. You are good. Which one of my boys needs help? Take a guess. No, Dove is not my boy. No, I'm just kidding. Dove is my boy, but Dove does not need help. He does not need help. You know the answer to this because we just talked about it. So just play along, you clown.
Yes, I know.
Who needs my help?
Your boy.
Yeah.
Your buddy.
Just say
your
it.
twin, Rob Saleh.
Oh, there we go. I mean, it's one thing to pretend, feign, but another thing to let it go a little bit too long. Just answer the question. I got to help out my boy, Robert Saleh. Why do I have to help out my guy, Robert Saleh? I'll tell you. So last week, it's not a big deal, but it might become one. So last week, he complicated his world and by extension, ratcheted up the energy in our world based on his aggressive stance with the receipts and all that stuff. You come out with a win, all right, we forget that. This week, and possibly beyond, he is complicating his world potentially, but not by being aggressive, by being too honest, by being too nice almost. Did you guys hear what he said about the Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco situation, the quarterback situation? Well, he basically said, Zach is which is something that I've asserted since day one, contrary to what Beningo was screaming about on Monday, 11:40 every Monday. Joe joins me and Tiki throughout the entire football season. We'll squeeze in some Mets as well throughout October with Joe. You know that. But Joe was ranting and raving. I don't care. I wish I could do a Beningo in person. I don't care. I just want wins. I don't give a damn. You know how Joe gets, right? So Joe was howling at the moon. I want wins. Well, so do I, right? But I want wins that make sense. And I want a direction that is more appealing to the big picture, the macro picture, than the week-to-week micro snapshot that Joe Flacco really delivers at this age. Now, Joe was really good this past week. But what Saleh did, it was so unnecessary. And it's not, again, it's a totally different energy than we discussed, Robert, when we discussed Saleh last week. But it's still, he's not even a rookie. I can't call it a rookie mistake. It's a mistake born out of inexperience. He was too truthful with the media, which means he was too truthful by extension to us. And most importantly, all right, he may have complicated his own little world, which I think is so easy to avoid. Why in the world, right now, I know you were asked about this, and he was asked, and I paraphrase, Coach, what happens when Zach Wilson is ready to go? And the assumption being, and it may have even been intimated as part of the question or by somebody else, meaning, so if Flacco continues to play well, where are we going with this, Coach? And he said, once he's medically cleared by the doctors, Zach is without a doubt the guy. Now, we all know that, or at least I know that, and I think many of you know that. He obviously knows that. The staff knows that. But there is no need to say that because we can only be so lucky, but let's just say that Joe comes out and he rolls up 297, 3 touchdowns, Garrett Wilson flying around, the running backs going bonkers, and it's not completely implausible. I don't care what the point spread says. I think the Jets are going to play well again, just like I told you they would play well last week, because I can see a situation where this Jets pass rush, which needs to get a lot better. I think this is the week it explodes. I think they're all in Burrow's grill. Now, if Burrow gets rid of the ball quickly, we got issues downfield because they got an army of studs, starting with Jamar Chase. But I think the way the defensive line is going to play, I think that Burrow might be harassed into a mistake, whether it's a pick or a fumble, a short field. So I think the Jets are going to score some points. I do. And I'm pretty sure, highly confident, it's a 4-quarter game. So that's the positives. The Jets have a chance to win. If Flacco balls out, if the D-line does damage. But if that happens, what are we doing against Pittsburgh? What are we doing against the Steelers? If he's medically cleared, well, that's something he should have never stuck his toe in. Don't answer the question, Coach. Now, we get annoyed when these coaches circumvent the issue. Now, I don't mean just Coach Saleh, anybody, They talk around it. They're asked a direct question. They take us for a little loop. They bounce us here like through a labyrinth, right? A verbal labyrinth that leads to nowhere. They don't give us an answer, And most of these successful coaches here are very good at that. Now, there's been a few who don't give a rat's behind what we think, and they'll say whatever's on their mind. And we love those guys. We love Coughlin. We love Parcells, We love Joe Torre. We love Bobby V. We appreciate that. But Saleh doesn't have that. He doesn't have that resume. So I really thought that was not sloppy. That's not even just too transparent, too truthful. Hey, now if Flacco comes out and he goes 19 for 31 for $194, a pick and a fumble, and the Jets lose, we have no issue. Once Zach is medically cleared, boom, he's in. But if Flacco plays well, we're giving energy to something that could have been so easily avoided, And listen, guys, that's the process of learning every aspect of the job, I'll give you an example, and I think any young broadcaster, Hoff, you'll appreciate this, Hoff. When you first get on the air, no matter where it is, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a radio station, whether it's a big market or some really small, obscure market, I think one of the toughest things to do for any young broadcaster is to embrace dead air. Right? No, I just didn't say anything for 5 or 6 seconds. And when you're young, you're like, I gotta. Now, I happen to talk a lot anyway, but you've got to understand that that's not a bad thing. It could be an emphatic punctuation to a good. I'll give you an example. Let's see. I was ranting and raving about Cashman this offseason, right? And I stand by it because whatever. But if Cashman doesn't do, if the Yankees don't get anywhere near the World Series, that's it. It is time to turn things around. And Cashman's got to go. And you let that linger out there for a little bit. But until you get reps in front of a microphone, you're for whatever reason, dead air tends to scare young broadcasters. And if you're a young coach, sometimes you get pulled in the direction of answering something that you should not answer. And I think that's what happened with Robert Saleh yesterday. Hey, do me Hoff, ask me this. I'm Coach Saleh. We look alike. He's far more buff. He's more tan. I like my beard better, actually. I think my beard looks a bit better. I like the jawline a little bit better as well. But, and he's definitely more wealthy because I'm not wealthy at all. I'm Saleh. You asked me the question about the quarterbacks. I'll answer it the way it should have been answered. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach Saleh,
yes,
coming off a week after this week, you said Zach Wilson, would be available week 4. Is he starting week 4 for Steelers?
Well, I'll tell you, Rich, or Connor, or Brian Costello. Rich, we'll see. Listen, this is a one-day-at-a-time business. We're just trying to get better each day. We're coming off a nice performance, a really good finish. Proud of the guys. We're trying to stack solid days and just one day at a time. Now, naturally, you would follow that up because you've been around, so go ahead and follow that up.
But if he's healthy, fully healthy, and he is ready to go, can he actually play and start against the Steelers week 4?
Yeah, Rich, that's an organizational decision. We're going to lean on our outstanding medical staff here and obviously get some input, of course, from Zach. It's his body, so we're still in the evaluation process for that. I respect the question, Rich. I understand there's a lot of people who want to see Zach, including us, but we're not there yet.
One more follow up.
Yeah, hurry up. Now you're annoying me. Go.
If Joe Flacco wins the game, puts up another week like he did last week, will he be considered to keep his starting role?
Well, listen, this is a league of earning, and I think what's going to be very important to us, Rich, quite frankly, is to balance the pursuit of wins and juggle, what's best for the future. And we'll sit down as a staff and we'll sort through that, and we'll do what's best for the team.
Now, Mike
All right, guys,
White.
I got to go. Thank you, guys.
Now, the question about Mike White.
I gotta go shave my head. A question about Mike White. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Not a big deal, but I would like to have, and I would like to see. I'd like to see a bit of a week where there's, again, this is not, I don't want to frame this the wrong way. It's not, there's no tension like last week for sure. There's no added pressure, at least pertaining to this game, but it just leads to more questions, and you don't need that. And he'll learn that. He's a smart guy. He'll adapt to it, but I didn't think he needed to do that yesterday. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney here on The Fan. So we got Sweeney. Now, Sweeney, we love Sweeney. Sweeney was on a couple times with us, and Sweeney's contention was, because he texted me directly, he's like, hey, why do you guys only have me on when things are bad? Well, I'm saying to myself, well, that's because that's usually when it's most entertaining. But he said, promise me that you'll use me when he didn't say when the Yankees play better, because they will. I said, you got it. So here we are. The Yankees have scored, 25-ish runs in the last 3 games? More than that, not more, 30-ish runs. So here you go. Things are going well, and Sweeney's coming on later. And we do have a lot to talk about, because I need to know, is Benintendi going to be ready for the playoffs? Is Zach Britton going to be ready for the playoffs? He's close. Britton's close. What do they organizationally take away from Severino last night, who looked pretty good? There are some things that we'll chat with Sweeney, and of course the Judge stuff for sure. So we'll get with that. We'll get Coach Shiano a little later in the show. Rutgers big one this weekend against Iowa at home. It's a night game. That place should be popping. Ian Rappaport, week 3 begins tonight. And think about this, guys. It is week 3, and even though I just opened the show with what I said about Coach Saleh, we are knocking on the door of week 3, and for the most part, everything is favorable pertaining to the New York football scene, except one disgruntled wide receiver for the Giants who is now beginning to talk about his situation, and I will get into that coming up as well.